Hey Clashers, it's Clan War League time again, and we're going to take a look at Town Hall 9 to Town Hall 14 bases, but make sure that you're sticking around because I'm going to share as well what clan castle I can recommend with that certain base, and in addition, I will make sure that you have maybe some trap adjustments to make sure that your base is more unique and is going to defend better in the end. But let's get started with the first base. Let's dive into it. And if you like videos like these, if you want to support my channel, well, there's an easy way to do so. Just use the creator code in-game when you're buying anything in the shop. It's code iTzu. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate the support. Let's get started with the Town Hall 9 base. And there we go. Town Hall 9 is first. And since I want to give a huge shout out to all of the base builders and obviously the base building team, huge thank you to RH Base Building for making those videos possible, because they're providing those bases with their crazy base builders. And if you say, okay, as soon as the base is on YouTube, I want to have a non-burned base. Well, feel free to do so. You can just go onto their Discord or on their website and get your own custom bases. But at some point, when you're watching and following my YouTube videos, you should know how much time is going into building a proper base. So it costs for sure something. But if you want to have a cost reduction and support me as well, you can just use code iTzu over there on their website and get a nice little bit of reduction on the price, and you can support me with that as well. So let's get started. Town Hall 9 base is first. Huge shout out to the base builder. VRB built this base, and on Town Hall 9 I feel like the most important thing is to have those storages inside to really isolate those different key defenses. For example, we have the storages in the core, isolating the air defenses, isolating the expo around the bottom side, and even the town hall is getting used to have some more HP in between of expo and, for example, the 9 o'clock air defense. That's all about what you're going if you're trying to defend dragons. And that is the next thing. A lot of people said, okay, iTzu, there is some flaws in the bases which can be easily abused on the competitive level. Guys, those videos are not for competitive players. Those videos are supposed to help people in the Clan War League where they are facing the most common strategies, like for example dragons, and not really crazy queen charges and things like that. That is not the purpose of this. The purpose is to share some nice bases for people who like just to copy bases, and that is pretty much it. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Those are non-crazy competitive 100 times tested bases. It's more about like testing the most common strategies, and most of the time it's either witches or it is just dragons, and dragons I think are just the most common approach, and that's where those storages are coming in so clutch. But clan castle, what should you use? Well, for the clan castle you should use 1 baby dragon, 3 headhunters and 2 archers. That's the recommendation of VRB. Let's dive to the next town level, to the next base. It's Town Hall 10 time, baby, and I have to give a huge shout out to the base builder again. Valet has built this base, and you can see clearly the focus of this base with concentrating on defending the Town Hall. As I said, it's not like to have the craziest anti-3-star bases. It is all about really making sure that regular clashers, like casual clashers, having the most or getting the most impact with using those bases, because if you're having a Clan War match, if you're having a Clan War League match, it is the most important thing that you're forcing 1-stars. And that's why this Town Hall is so heavily defended. We have the storages protecting all of those defenses around it. We have the sweepers over there. We have 4 Tesla protecting the Town Hall. And in addition, both multi-inferno towers. But not only that, you might be now surprised with a couple of the trap placements. Especially the giant bomb and small bombs around the top and the bottom side. You might be, what is that? Why would you place them over there? Let me explain that. As we have already figured out, most strategies are using, or like most people, attackers are using either dragons, which I feel like is the by far most strategy, but a lot of people as well are using witches because they are just so powerful. With this setup, those witches which are circling the base, like not all of the witches are supposed to go inside. That's the power of those witches. You have typically 3 groups. One on the outside, one which is going to the core, and one then on the other flank on the outside. And those witches on the outside, those are the witches which you want to attack, which you want to take down. And that's what those giant bombs and small bombs are for, because those witches are getting close to the air defense around the top side, but nothing else can really trigger it. And it's not as easy to trigger those traps actually to make sure that those witches are staying alive. So that's the entire idea of those outside traps, if you were wondering. And now we're coming to the clan castle as well. The clan castles recommended for this one is 2 super minion. We have 1 headhunter and 5 archers for this one. But we have a few more town levels to go. Let's go to town hall level 11. Okay, now it's time for town hall 11. And again, you can see that the town hall is well protected. But the first thing which I notice is, I don't know, somehow this base completely messed with my head, because this base looks symmetrical, right? Like, it looks really symmetrical when it comes down to the walls. But the big thing is that the town hall is not really located in the middle, as I was kind of expecting it to be. So to me, it was really confusing seeing that, but I love it. The reason why do I like it? So the reason being is that with having a little bit of a small twist to the base, with maybe being symmetrical, but a couple of things being more one-sided, you can more predict, you can more expect certain entries and bait those. I feel like that's always a really important thing when you have those overall bases. And that might be already a small thing, like having on one side the Warden and on the other side the Barbarian King. For example, people like to charge into the Barbarian King quite early. That's what they like to do overall. So you can bait that way more easily. So those are like the small things which you can do and adjust. But let's take a look at, or take a deeper look at this base. Again, this base is concentrating on trying to defend the town hall. We have 4 expos, we have the queen, we have the king, we have the test down, we have the train trap, we have a lot of traps overall around that town hall to protect it. And then, just to make it that not too crazily stacked, we have the multi-front towers on both sides for flanking purposes and making sure that the entry into the town hall is not as easy as it might look. So that's overall the idea of this base, the setup, and we can find the anti-witch giant bombs around the outside again on the left side, where the cannon is, and on the top right side where the small archer tower is. That's how this works. And well, huge shout out to the base builder as well. Rex built this base, and what he's recommending as clan castle troops is 2 super minion, 1 headhunter, 2 archers again, and then 3 goblins overall to fill things up. That's recommended clan castle. I think we're done with town hall 11. Let's go for town hall 12. And as by now you can see, town hall 12 and above is going to be more and more central town hall, making sure that it's isolated and making sure that the second tower is as tricky to get as possible. And remember as well, because I've gotten a couple of screenshots over the week, over the last couple of weeks, where we have started this project, where people have 3-starred at some point those bases. I mean, if you're testing it long enough, like some people said, okay, it only took us 10 tries in a friendly challenge to triple that base. I was like, but isn't that a good thing? I mean, if you're testing a base, that's not really how you do it. I hope that those bases obviously are going to defend well for you, but let's dive a bit more into this base and what you might want to copy if you are building your own bases. So, the skeleton traps, and that's what we want to concentrate around the defending queen. On town hall 12, if someone is using air, and as I said, air is really like, a lot of people like to use air, and it's just super simple because you don't have to worry about walls, you don't have to worry about wall breakers. It's just overall pretty easy to use, and that's why a lot of people like to use it. But remember, your defending heroes, especially the queen, are a really strong tool to work with on defense. But sometimes this queen is just going to get overpowered. So how it works is, as soon as the queen is attacking the dragons are attacking back. But if you can have some skeleton traps in front of your queen is getting some really important seconds to shoot longer and get really a lot of dragons already in the beginning low, or even take them out, which is really important. That's exactly the idea of this skeleton trap farm on the far left side. If your queen is defending and is having a pretty decent level, then you want to keep that. If you're having maybe not that great hero level on defense, then you might want to switch the location of those skeleton traps, put them a bit further into the core, make the town hall even more protected, for example. But that's really depending on the level of your heroes. Huge shout out to the base builder, obviously. Tutti built this base, and the recommended clan cast, which he said is actually 2 super minions, and then we have 2 rocket loots in addition. Let's move on to the town hall 13 base, and let's take a look at that one. And the Town Hall 30 base looks really wild. Like we have a huge compartment around that Town Hall. Like that, we have the scatters in there, we have the expos in there, and the Town Hall itself, obviously, with even using the Royal Champ and the Queen near to it. But what is the entire setup? We have the multi-inferno towers really far on the outside to make sure that, well, people have to invest something to get it down. And then we have the Tesla farm on the far left side, where most likely a lot of people like to enter into the space, and it's hopefully just throw them off, having to reinforce some of their troops. Maybe have to use more funneling troops, whatever, to make this push even more expensive. And then we have the Eagle on the really far other side to make it sure that it's staying alive for as long as possible. That's the entire idea. Then, if you might wondering why we have those double walls around the Eagle, or like in between of the Eagle and the Town Hall, well, that's just because this makes sure that the Town Hall is not reachable from the Eagle side. That is the entire idea. Base builder on this one is Wolves. Huge thank you to him. And the clan castle, which he recommended, is 2 super minion, 2 rocket loons, and then filling up with archers. That's all for Town Hall 13. Let's move to the last and final Town Hall level, Town Hall 14. And the last and final Town Hall level is Town Hall 14. And on this one, we have again like a pretty classic setup with open walls everywhere. And this is just so funny to me. Like Town Hall 14 is really like one of the most maze base type of Town Hall level which we ever had. It is pretty crazy. Why exactly is that the case? Let me explain that to you. The reason why we have so many open walls are 2 main reasons. The first one is wall breakers. With that setup, you never really know where your wall breakers are going. For example, if you're placing your wall breaker on the top right, who knows where they're going? They might go for an outside wall, they might go for somewhere else, who knows? Like, it's really hard to tell. At the same time, though, people can say, okay, but when everything is open, they would just walk inside. That is actually the next thing. With troops or heroes walking inside, even though they're not intended to, this is going to mess up the entire attack. If you might have seen this already with like dragon attacks or anything like that, and your heroes walked inside and maybe loot even the clan castle, this is never a good thing to happen. So instead, making sure that those walls are open and the entire attack is kind of like really hard to predict and hard to control. That's the idea of the setup. Again, core Town Hall, I mean, that shouldn't be a surprise for you anymore. We have the heroes protecting, we have the scatter shop protecting, and then the clan castle. The clan castle, the recommended clan castle from the base builder, who is ESK, is 1 lava hound, 1 headhunter, and 9 archers. That's probably right now the best clan castle when it comes down to Town Hall 14. It's just so strong. It's defending pretty much all of those important strategies. And yeah, that's it for today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. You can for sure flip the traps, like for example in this one, the tornado trap, if you want to the other side, if you want to make your traps more unpredictable, and make it a bit more different to other people who have copied the base. I really hope that those bases are going to defend great for you. Remember, if you want to buy your own custom bases, go for the link down below in the description. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys back tomorrow with the next Clash video. And hopefully I will see you back in 1 month when it's coming back to another bunch of bases for the Clan War League for you guys. So thank you so much. I will see you guys back tomorrow. Until then, see ya and bye-bye.